Good morning, sister girls. December. Oh, I forgot my watch upstairs. It's fine. Did I say December? November 10th? Yeah, because yesterday was November 9th. November 10th, 2023, and I completed day 6 of 90. First of all, let me just share my, oh, you can't see it. Oh, yeah, well, maybe. My customized sweater that I ordered myself. I wore it to the Women Empowerment event, the Vision Board event that I had last weekend. It's rooted in God's truth while flourishing and resting in His grace, which is what His truth within is all about. Anyway, you know what's one of the things that I felt intimidated by in listening to the Bible? Look at those two squirrels. Get out. And listening to the Bible was retaining all of that information. I struggle with retaining, or so I thought, because I feel like I'm retaining a lot of information. But it's a lot. It's a lot of different people. And I'm only in day 6. And so what I'm going to be doing too, or what I've been doing, is jotting down the different characters of the Bible that are mentioned for each day. And then at some point, I want to be able to study the lives of these different individuals, like Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, and all these other people, Job. And so, okay, so I had to listen to the last 2 chapters of yesterday, Genesis 24 and 25. And so what ended up happening, Sarah, maybe her name was already changed to Sarah, can't remember right now, but she passed away. And because Abraham had already purchased ground to bury her, can she see me? Maybe not. She could see me. My neighbor. But my windows are tinted. Have you ever like waved and like nobody sees you? Anyway, so Sarah passes away. She gets buried, right? But you know what's interesting? Isaac and Ishmael, which are brothers. Remember, Ishmael was the son that Abraham and Hagar had because Sarah didn't believe that she could have any children. And so she pretty much convinced Abraham to sleep with her servant Hagar. And that's how Ishmael was born. But the son that God promised Abraham was Isaac. But Isaac and Ishmael were together when they buried Sarah. And then at the start of day 6, it mentions that Isaac then marries Rebecca, who was then, by marrying her, was comforted during the loss of his mom. Then Isaac and Rebecca, so I'm just gonna break down the timeline of, or the generation or the people, whatever. I don't even know. But Isaac and Rebecca get married. Rebecca has twins, Esau and Jacob. But the Lord tells Rebecca she has 2 nations that are going to be in rival, like they're going to be against each other. And this is before she even had them, right? So she gives birth to Esau and Jacob. Esau happens to be Isaac's favorite. Jacob happens to be Rebecca's favorite. So Esau then, he's known to be like a great hunter. He liked to be in the outdoors. Jacob preferred to be indoors, to be home, which makes sense as to why Rebecca probably favored him more than Esau, because she was always with Jacob. And Dito Jacob. And then I say Dito Jacob because I have a son, Jacob, just in case. Then Esau comes home from hunting all day. I guess he was tired, saw that Jacob was making food. I'm just, my interpretation of it. Esau says, give me what you have. I'm hungry or whatever. Jacob says, well, I'll give it to you if you give me your birthright as the first son. And Esau was like, yeah, whatever. He gives it to him. Then Isaac gets old. Years pass. I'm not sure if I'm skipping anything, but Isaac gets old, calls for Esau. Esau comes to him and and Isaac tells Esau, go and get me an animal, sacrifice an animal, whatever. Bring me an animal, cook it, whatever. Make me a delicious meal. I'm old. I'm about to die. And he doesn't even have good vision anymore. That's how old he is, right? Rebecca hears that, tells Jacob, like, listen, your father is getting ready to give Esau his last blessing, because that's the reason why Isaac wanted Esau to get him to hunt down an animal, whatever, so that Isaac can give Esau his last blessing. So Rebecca hears about it. Rebecca tells Jacob, like, listen, this is about to go down, so I need you to pretend you're Esau. Jacob was resisting a little bit, was hesitant, like, no, I don't want to be cursed. He's like, don't worry. She was like, don't worry about it. You're going to be blessed. Whatever curse that will come upon you will come upon me instead. So he goes ahead and, wears this fur coat, because Esau was known to be like very hairy. So he wears this coat, goes to Isaac, and is like, I prepared you a meal. Isaac, because he can't see, but he recognizes his voice, and he's like, which one of my sons are you? And he's like, I'm Esau. And he was like, you can tell because of the questions that Isaac was asking, like, are you sure? And so he went, and I guess what he had on was one of I don't know, because when Jacob got close to Isaac, he smelled like the outdoors. So he probably assumed, like, okay, well, this is Esau, although you sound like Jacob. But then he gives him his last blessing. And then Esau, a short while later, comes home, prepares the meal or whatever, and brings it to Isaac like he was told to. And so he tells Isaac, here, Dad, I prepared you the meal. He was like, what do you mean? Like, I just had a meal. You just brought me a meal. He was like, no. And then Isaac tells Esau, I'm sorry, pretty much. I'm sorry. I gave my last blessing to Jacob, and now he's gonna master over you, and his relatives are now his servants. Like, I can't do nothing about giving you my last blessing, because I've given it all to Jacob. Jacob has deceived me. Esau gets mad, blames Jacob for saying, first he stole my birthright as the first son, and now he took my last blessing. But check that out. Esau freely gave it to Jacob. But now he's not taking accountability, blaming Jacob for taking his birthright, which he freely sold to Jacob for a meal. And now he wants to blame Jacob for that. But that's messed up, man, because it's like, but then again, because I'm thinking, like, that's messed up of Rebecca, man, putting Jacob against, Esau and having beef or whatever. But then Esau has a plan. Rebecca hears that Esau has a plan to kill Jacob, right? So then Rebecca's like, listen, but prior to that, it mentions that Esau had married some Hittite women, and they made they made Isaac and Rebecca, the parents, lives miserable. So then when Rebecca hears that Esau wants to kill Isaac, she sends Isaac, when she finds out that Esau wants to kill Jacob, she sends Jacob to go ahead somewhere to go hide in one of Isaac's relatives' land, but then wants to marry, but then ends up marrying, what is it? Okay, wait. I'm trying to remember. Isaac and Rebecca, husband and wife, father and mom. Esau, Rebecca hears that Esau wants to kill Jacob. So Jacob goes away to Lebanon to a relative of Isaac. Oh, because then this is another thing. You know what I also caught? I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. What I realized, that Abraham pretended that Sarah, told Melchizedek that Sarah was his sister, which he wasn't lying, but it was also his wife. But then they found out that he was lying. So he was like, how dare you almost get me in trouble? So, and he was like, well, I thought you were going to kill me. And whatever. So then I saw a pattern with Isaac pretending, marrying Rebecca and pretending to Abimelech that Rebecca is his sister. But then Abimelech found out that they weren't siblings, because they were like getting it on. And so he was like, well, I thought you were going to kill me. And so I saw that pattern with Abraham and Sarah, and then Isaac and Rebecca. That was interesting. But anyway, so then Isaac then goes away. Jacob goes away. A servant is sent to Oh, no. That was for Isaac. That was before. Anyway, so Jacob ends up marrying. Long story short, Isaac finds two girls, right? Two women, Leah and Rachel. Leah is known to have beautiful eyes. Rachel is known to be shapely and lovely, or something like that. Shapely and something. And Rachel is who Jacob wants to marry. And the father of the two daughters are like, yeah. But then deceives Jacob. And he doesn't realize until the morning that he ended up being with Leah instead of Rachel, who he wanted to be with. And so he says, well, the rule is pretty much is that you first have to marry or be with the firstborn daughter, the oldest. And so he's like, now you got to wait. The father tells Jacob, now you got to wait 7 years to marry my daughter Leah. So to marry my daughter Rachel. So then Leah, because she's married to Jacob, has all these different children by him. Rachel, feels like, she loves him. They love each other, and she sees that he's married to her sister. So then all of a sudden, she can't have any children. Tells Jacob. Then after, I guess, the 7 years go by and they get married. So now he marries Leah. He's already married to Leah. Marries Rachel, and then Rachel now can't have kids, and that's what she wants, to have children by him, and tells him like, I want to have kids. And he was like, well, you can't tell me. I can't make that happen. You got, only God can make that happen for you, can open up your womb. So she takes it upon herself. This is interesting, right? Because I saw that in Sarah. She takes it upon herself to then have her servant or somebody, her servant sleep with Jacob. They have children. And then that was the same thing that Sarah did when she convinced Abraham to sleep with her servant Hagar to have children. It's a whole... God has a lot of patience, bro. And he's very merciful. Okay, that's a lot. I know it's a lot, right? I know it is. It is. Not sure if there's going to be a part 2. I got to listen to day 6 again because there was a lot that I missed. This was just a little bit of the beginning that I could remember and retain. So, but hopefully you're encouraged to do the same. And if this happens to you where you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't remember anything, it's okay. Let's keep going. Toodles.